All right. Well, it's been a month since we've been back together, so we're back for another episode of the Real J6 Committee. I've got David Summerall with me, waiting on one other person. Of course, we can talk about him right now because he's not on. He's always late. David, you hear me, brother?
I can hear you loud and
There we
clear,
go.
brother.
How was your weekend, man? I want to know.
It's good. It's good. Always productive. Always moving. Always going somewhere. I'm in the
Army.
rig now.
Yeah.
Undisclosed location. You know how it goes. And
Yeah.
out here trying to make a difference, brother.
That's a pop-up camper, isn't it?
No, it's not.
I know it isn't. I've seen it. I was like, oh, my God. At an undisclosed area. So,
good.
your weekend, what happened over the weekend with you? What are you doing?
Man, we are just pushing forward with everything. We're working on a video right now for Benjamin Martin. He's still in trouble. He got his pardon, but they say it doesn't cover all the charges. So we're looking at him possibly going back to prison. We can't let that happen. We need more public involvement. I know it seems like we're, beating a dead horse or whatever, but
So, what's his name again?
Benjamin Martin.
Benjamin
He's
Martin.
In California.
And,
yeah,
is he he's a J6er, of course.
Absolutely. But you know how it was when they found other things in your house that,
Sure.
During the J6 raid, and then they separate the charges during court. And then when you get your pardon, hey, that cleared you for that stuff. But hey, they separated those charges so it doesn't cover maybe, whatever they found, and it doesn't matter. A couple of different people got in trouble for things like that. It was resolved for everyone else, it seems like, except for him, and of course, there's ongoing court procedures for him. And if he goes back to prison, it's going to be a real bad stain on Trump because he thought he took care of everything. And here we have a J6er. And what it was, folks, was an old rifle that he had and that he had gotten rid of. He had sold it or whatnot, but it was in his wife's safe at his wife's house. And anyway, that's the way the story goes, and it's sad that the government.
So he
uses
forgot
stuff like
about
that.
it, but they can come back on it?
Well, he didn't care about it. I mean, they already found everything that he had from the rally, his shirt and his hat, his coat, all the things that they needed.
Just
but
like they
keep
take,
digging and
yeah.
digging. That's what they do. They want to see if they can find some money or some gold. They stole from people. We have that, documented. So,
You just reminded me of something about with gold, because I do remember a story where a J6er's house was raided and he had some gold pieces coming up missing. Do you remember that?
Absolutely. He's
Yeah.
not alone. It's not a one of. Man, I just listened to a story today from Patrick. How do you say his last name? Cindy Young did an interview with him. And I never knew this guy. I never knew of him. You know how these people slip through even the cracks that we've tried to seal up, and he passed away. I guess not long ago. So I'm digging into this more. But his story, I went and listened to the interview with Cindy Young and him, and it was horrible. This guy had major health problems. Judge Friedrich forced him back into prison. He was at the hospital getting testing, ready for procedures, and she was wanting him on video to show where he was and show a nurse and talk to the doctors and have the doctors come here and do you really need to be there and all these things. So when he got to prison, of course, they throw all your meds in the garbage, first thing. And so he's coming around that evening saying, where's my medicine? And they said, what medicine? So he literally... They gave him an unwanted medical procedure that we're all familiar with. A lot of guys had to take that while they were in there, and he had a stroke. His heart was already one of his valves or something was messed up, and so he ends up in the hospital, has a stroke, has to go through speech therapy and walking therapy, learn to brush your teeth, and destroyed this guy, and yet he's in the hospital, and the pardon time came around, and he felt like if he was in the hospital, he'd be forgotten. So he says, I want to go back to prison so I can get my pardon. And they're like, what are you talking about? And luckily, he went in just a day before or 2 days before, and the pardons came through, and he was given his freedom again. But they put him out on the street, as we know. His family didn't know he's getting out. He hadn't spoken with him. He had all these medical procedures, a heart surgery and everything while he's in prison. And they never knew anything because of the way the government kept the secrets and kept their movements, hidden from family members and such. So it's another just travesty of justice. And I want people to understand it's ongoing still for people like Benjamin Martin. he could lose everything again. He's a productive member of society. He's self-employed. He started a business. He's running for office there where he lives. He's doing the right things.
Yeah.
But this government stigma that these judges are perpetuating on these folks' lives, it's not only unfair and unethical, it's immoral. These judges need to be held to account for that. And I'm not saying do anything, FBI. I know you want to come talk to me anyway again, but it is what it is. And we know the truth. Benjamin surely knows the truth. It was hard to get him out of prison in the first place because of these other charges, and yet he was released. So, for these judges to argue that, Gary, you know how it goes.
Well, yeah, and you reminded me of a story that now I'm going to look into to work with you on. And it was in the tunnel on the west side. The older guy, he was an old man. I don't want to say an old man. I'm an old man now.
My age,
but I believe he had a red coat on or whatever, and he was stuck, and they were trying to make him move, and they kept spraying him with pepper spray. Eventually, with pepper spray, let me slow down with my Texas accent so people understand. But the police ended up pulling him past the doors and taking him into the Capitol, and you could tell he was under distress.
Yeah.
And I think 6 months after that, he passed away. And it's just one of those things, again, that never gets looked into or talked about. It's because the stories on our side and their side is so lopsided, and that's what we're going to be talking about here after a while with some videos, but
well, let me just say,
yeah,
that story that you're talking about, as well as a dozen other suicides, are listed at StopHate.com under the death article, the death count. It's on the front page. If not, go to MASH, our media side of it. But these stories that we know about, we've covered. We're going to have to add, Patrick, to this list, and it continues to grow. The more we find out, we don't know everything. We know as much as we can. And we ask people for more information all the time, but go check these stories out. They're real, and they affected families, and not just the people that are gone, but everyone around them. And I think if people knew the real cost, that it would add a lot of different value to January 6th, what these people, experienced and suffered through, and really exposed what not just the left, as we know now, the uniparty, the left and right have
absolutely,
ganged up on us. So
that's just it, and I know we've always said it this way. If the J6 Select Committee would have done their job, we wouldn't have to be, and it's, how hard it is to get the attention of the public or any mainstream media. And even when I used to go knock on the doors and, the Rayburn building in DC, and trying to get in front of people, it is not easy, but if it was easy, everybody would be doing it.
That's right.
So what we have to do is just keep doing what we're doing and pushing forward. I want to wait on Trennis to come in, and I'm not going to show a video yet until he comes in here. It'll probably be the second segment. So it's kind of like a little chit chat right here. So I don't want nobody to lose attention to this show right now, because what we're going to talk about is, with the videos that I'm going to show, is if the select committee, the J6 Select Committee, would have done their job, we should have seen or heard this. I believe they did see a lot of stuff and hear a lot of stuff. They just didn't put it out there. So that's what you and I have done, is their job, and put it out there. You know what I mean?
I totally agree. The second film we did was Bloody Hill. It was a lot more gathered intellectually. The first movie, Writing History, that we did was just video from the crowd. So it was.
You just said Bloody Hill. Hold on a minute. You just reminded me of something when Joe the Box earlier today, when we were talking about showing some movies, some documentaries.
Yeah.
Did we show the Bloody Hill here?
I think you showed J6 True Timeline. I'm not sure, but I wanted to get to 1,000 Days of Terror.
Yeah.
Because 1,000 Days of Terror really just shows that it's more or less a 5.5-minute video that will tell you more than the Select Committee did, more than the media did, more than the politicians did collectively for 4 years. In 5.
Did I lose you? Oh, there
No,
you are. Go
on.
ahead. Sorry about that, brother.
Well, I call came, I'm mobile, so
That's all
I'm
good.
sideways, I'm upside down. Did you hear any of that?
Keep going.
So, what the select committee didn't do and the media didn't do, we showed in 5.5 minutes. We've always said, you and me both, you can't tell who started the fight from the middle. You have to go to the beginning of what happened that day, what happened when the violence popped off to see who the instigators were.
Yep.
And I think when you look at it from that perspective, 5.5 minutes, 1000daysofterror.com, go check that out, and you'll see how it started on the west side, and it's not what they say, and it never has been.
No, and even what I uncovered with the scaffolding commander and who he worked with, he was never arrested, and and I presented that video of mine to Luke Coffey's attorneys to play. And as well as I do, when something like that is brought up, the reason it stops playing in court and the prosecution stands up and they have a sidebar is because of my arrows or circles explaining it.
Yes. Yes.
I mean, I wish I could be a liar like prosecutors and the left and just take screenshots to make you think this is what happened. But for me, it's videos speak more than anything, And so what's coming up with the video that I'm going to show in a little bit, from what I hear, it, Trennis knows it if he ever shows up, Lara Logan listened to it, but it's something I didn't discover until like a year and a half ago, and I've sat on it. But, we got 24 seconds left. I think what I want to do when we come back, we're going to go ahead and show a couple of videos and just discuss it, share this out. I finally got my Twitter back. It's a new one.
So glad.
Yeah, so David with StopHate.com and Gary McBride on Twitter. You can find me, RealJ6CMTE. Be back.
Most people think they have options when searching for the best deals when they travel. But here's the shocking truth. 100% of the major travel agencies are owned by just two entities, Expedia and Booking Holdings. They claim to offer the lowest rates, but due to the hotel rate parity agreement, they all have the same pricing, limiting genuine competition. When you book through these sites, you act as your own travel agent, but the profits are going to organizations that don't support our patriot values. We cannot allow that to continue. So, we decided to make travel great again by starting a US-based travel membership platform, mypatriottravel.com. We are patriots helping patriots. Together, we can disrupt the travel industry by not spending our hard-earned dollars supporting the radical left. For just $29.99 per month, you gain access to true wholesale rates on travel, saving you on average 35% and up to 65%. Book as often as you like, with no limits. Keep your hard-earned dollars in your pocket and spend them on things you need and want to support. Go to mypatriottravel.com/TAFW and grab your membership today. mypatriottravel.com/TAFW. Making travel great again.
Are you a true American? Then it's time to get connected. Download the America First Media and Television app and stay up to date with real news, bold voices, and live events from the America First Warehouse. From national broadcasts and exclusive shows to comedy nights, concerts, and special events. It's all right at your fingertips. No filters, no spin, just America First. Download the America First Media and Television app today and be part of the movement.
I'm sure you guys remember the platinum single, Justice for All, with Donald Trump and the J6 Prison Choir. Well, get ready for round two. We're coming out with Anthem of the Free with High Res and the J6 Prison Choir. It's coming out now. It's pre-sale until December 19th when it drops. Get yours on all platforms, Google Play, Apple iTunes. Get it. It's going to be hot.
Justice for all, our voices ring.
It's me, Joe the Box, the America First Warehouse, most patriotic venue in all the land.
The America First Warehouse, a beacon for all to see, a symbol of unity. For the patriots of America, we stand tall and free. In the America First Warehouse, where our hearts will always be.
All right, welcome back to the Real J6 Committee with Summerall. Still waiting on Trent Evans. I'm going to keep bringing his name up and use this as a clip.
He likes the free plugs, man. He'll take it.
Oh, yeah, he's going to fashionably late as always. Let's see. We were talking about your documentary real quick. I would love to be able for people to see that, and just go ahead and tell everybody where they can find that at.
Yeah, all of our documentaries, we did one a year for 5 years. And I want to say the fifth one that we did after the pardons was probably the most important to the public because it explains all the lawfare we went through. But stophate.com has all of them at the home page. You just click on the image of each of the titles, and it'll take you either to the movie site or the Rumble channel, whichever. They're spread out for safekeeping and other purposes. They're all free. You don't have to pay for any of it anywhere. But go to stophate.com and check that out. They're all listed in my picture. Just click the picture and go see the films.
Well, all right, Dave, what I want to do is I want to go ahead and play this first video. We'll talk about it for a little bit, get your insight. You might remember it from back in the day, but it is from about, almost 4 years ago, probably, when I was on the Alpha Warrior show. Go ahead and just play the first asset there, the Alpha Warrior 1, I believe it is.
A lot of things that I want to cover, but two things I want to bring up. So the audience, I'm keeping an eye on the Rumble chat section right now, along with DLive. You guys do not let me forget, and I'll try to do it right away so I don't forget. But remind me to bring up the comment. What's his partner's name again? Fanone's, the one at
Jimmy Albright.
Jimmy Albright. Remind me to explain you guys the context of when he says they didn't steal one magazine, two, and then the gun. That is such a critical statement.
So you saw how I reacted at the end of that video. When I used to put my videos out, I would never say anything about what to watch for or listen for. That's just how I used to do it. And when he said that, you saw how I got excited because he caught that. And Alpha Warrior, explain to our audience real quick who he is.
So he's an ex-cop, and he's been targeted as well for his stance, his conservatism, his moral fiber and character that when you go against the grain, you're listed, and he's on that list as well. But he was instrumental and still is in interviewing a lot of J6ers, got a lot of information out, has a great audience, very supportive. So we're excited always to talk with him. As a matter of fact, he reached out the other day and wants to have me back and do a catch-up. So looking forward to that as well. I'm sure he'll see this and remind him.
I try to have him on for this show, but he's busy, so that's, and the reason I want him on is because I'm showing, his past videos as well. But I'm sure we've tagged him in Twitter and wherever else so he sees it. But that video, what he's referring to about one magazine or two, is going to be this next video. Go ahead and pull up that next video, guys.
And they stole one of my pistol mags, too.
You mean they stole both of them?
They stole
mine, too, dude. They stole my gun.
I can't believe they stole my gun. Dude, when I first heard that, and I really didn't know, to me, it wasn't right, but when Alpha Warrior explained it to me, I thought, holy crap, these guys have been doing this. This just didn't happen that day. That's their mentality. They've been doing this. That's why I always say I would love to see where their gun cabinet is at and see what all they have. It's just like Bagshaw in January 6th. There's a pistol on the ground he puts in his back pocket. I'd love to know where that's at today. Did he keep it, turn it in? I'm guessing my opinion, he kept it.
Or did he give it back to the cop that dropped it? We don't know. And that's part of the mystery. But, I love that Alpha picked up on what they were saying and joking about. And just before that scene in the body cam, the other paramedic is talking, and they're talking about their radio. Well, they took my radio, and I told them, well, the radio doesn't work half the time anyway. Here, take. They said, well, we're taxpayers.
Well, and Albright, during the radio conversation, Albright even says, well, you're going to get 2 weeks paid off.
Yes. He said, you're going to get reprimanded again. You're going
to get reprimanded again.
I know.
Yeah.
Now, what was he suspended for before? He said you're going to get suspended again.
Mm-hmm.
So how many times was he suspended? Why was Fanone there if he's a plainclothes undercover, hadn't put the uniform on in 10
years.
doesn't do that stuff, and
Yeah.
listened on a radio and got in his truck and put on his thing and went down there and was late and went straight from his vehicle straight to the tunnel. He's the only cop that went through the whole tunnel, out into the crowd and back through the whole tunnel. I mean, it's just a crazy story. And who knew that HBO crews would be down in the crowd, ready to film it for their big movie, the 4 hours at the Capitol, and to make Fanone a star and have a book and do the hearings and do all the things. And then if you notice, Fanone's story changed a little bit from his early interviews. Same as Hodges, same as several of the police. If you really go and listen, the first couple of days were different. You know, Fanone didn't even say anything to the medic or the other policeman that walked in for 6 or 7 minutes out of the tunnel about being tased. Never mentioned being tased to anyone, even the medic. Never said my neck's burned. Never said.
And that medic even said something to the point about, the pepper gas and all that. What did he say? Oh, I'm used to that. He's acting like a badass, like he's real tough. He's like, you know what I mean?
That's only CS gas. That's only the stuff that choke people almost unconscious, if not.
Thank you.
So it's terrible.
All right, so we got another handsome man up there ready to come on. Let's bring up Trentus just in time. What's up, brother?
Unmute yourself, though.
Yeah. It must be his first time. 5, 4.
5, 4, 3, 2. Almost hear you.
He's getting used to it. We'll wait for him to cut. Yeah, I hear you now. Hey, so Trentus, we just showed. We just started showing the videos. We haven't showed what I need you to be a part of as well with you and David. So we're just talking about where Albright, when Fanone says, hey, they stole my magazine, and Albright says, they didn't steal one, they stole both of them. Oh, they stole mine too, And they also stole my gun. I see Trentus is still trying to get ready.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing. When you think about stealing during an event like that, or thinking, even in the mindset and gathered, they're not wounded. Fanone's not dying. They're not giving him CPR. They're not giving him mouth to mouth. You're working now, brother. And that's the thing. He's not hurt. He's joking. He's laughing with Jimmy, his partner, about stealing gear.
Yeah.
So I want people to understand.
And I want people to understand, too, that I did not put the video up where I call him Peekaboo Fanone, where they're dragging him and he opens his eye and he's looking around.
Looking with one eye, seeing which way
and he's
they're
looking
going.
around. I mean, and then when his eyes are closed, you can see his eyelids fluttering because he's, he's not passed out, people. And this is what the media, J6 Select Committee, made everybody freaking believe. And the reason is they didn't show it. As a matter of fact, during the J6 Select Committee, when they had Fanone up there, they showed the video. But what they did is they started the video after he opened his eyes when they drug him off. They started it after. So that tells me the J6 Select Committee had to have seen him open his damn eye. But they don't want the people to see that,
HBO, when they used it, they dubbed in other sound. They cut out the actual sound and dubbed in other. And we know the Select Committee did these things as well. I mean, this is the tricks of the trade. Sometimes they'll show you, but they'll edit over it or narrate over it. So you'll have an impression that was something totally different. That's what they did through the entire Fanone saga. Go to StopHate.Fanone and see extended versions of all these videos from his complete body cam, the spin, the things that we saw or found in there that don't add up with his court testimony, the perjury that he was never held to account. And Trentus is here. I mean, he can tell you about these.
Yeah, we got 2 minutes and 45 seconds left. Trentus, what's up, brother?
Hey, buddy, what's going on?
Yeah, I'm chewing my cud right now. I'm starting to grit my teeth.
Sweating. I'm like, holy moly.
Yeah, it's 70-something here today in New York, and I'm hot.
There's not 70 in Texas, baby.
I know, bud.
I don't know. What's the temperature today, David? 90?
Oh, it probably is somewhere around there. Humid, too.
Yeah, I'm like, woo, baby. Anyway, listen, Gary, your expose on this stuff's been great. We all appreciate it. It's been really good. You've been staying on these things, and people need to do it. But I was trying to say earlier, and I didn't get it out when David was talking. Is that working?
Yeah,
it is.
You hear
got
me?
like 4 seconds.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, cut him
I was
off.
trying to say when Fanone lies, right?
Yes. Lies
That-
and lies and lies.
Yeah, that's what it is. Holy smokes, man. I'm out here burning up. I didn't turn the AC on this studio.
Bring us back, Gary. How much time we got?
I'm just laughing at Trennis right now, sweating his ass
He's
off.
hilarious.
I've got a minute, 45 seconds. Let's go ahead. Let's finish this out with my next video to close this out before we get into it. Go ahead and play that next video real quick. Let's do this.
You just seen information that shows perjury, conspiracy. I mean, major crimes. And you also saw, and this is when we get to Jimmy Albright, you're going to see the mindset. And the reason, like I said, God's timing is you have the magnificent work. You guys won't even imagine the amount of hours every week Gary has been working, studying, researching.
You remember that guy? I don't remember him.
JD?
That long-haired hippie dude?
No, that's Alpha Warrior.
So that what I just played there was after we were talking about the video before that with the magazine, the gun, and stuff like that. And I think it was that was important for me to put up just because of who Alpha Warrior is, his experience, and that's what I learned that day from that video.
He was a DEA agent or something, or what was he, LAPD or DEA or both or something at one time?
Yeah, and I think
veteran,
also
right?
a detective. I believe he was a detective for the police department.
Like a narc unit guy, that's for sure, or something.
Yeah,
Well, I'll tell you what's interesting about his story is and we've seen this in case after case. They focus on days like Trennis. They came and arrested you before your father-in-law's funeral. For Alpha Warrior, they came to his house and raided him on the day that his police partner had died. He watched his partner die, and they did these things intentionally to try to get somebody to snap, to try to get somebody to break, to get something in the newspaper, in the media, to show these J6ers are horrible. And
real
and
quick,
when
we're going to go to
Alpha
commercial,
Warrior-
David. We'll be right back.
To move and celebrate freedom like never before. The America First Warehouse proudly presents Freedom in Motion, America 250. Join Lisa for an electrifying dance fitness fundraiser designed to get your heart pumping and your spirit soaring. This dynamic 6-week session is perfect for all fitness levels, whether you're just starting out or ready to level up your routine. Feel the energy of an epic patriotic playlist. Boost your fitness, learn exciting new moves, and relieve stress while having an absolute blast. All for just $100 per person, and it all supports a great cause. Spots are limited, so don't wait. Come dance, get fit, and celebrate America 250 in motion.
Hi, my name is Elena Ruseva, aka Megalangela. Please check my art at www.megalangela.vip.
Are you a true American? Then it's time to get connected. Download the America First Media and Television app and stay up to date with real news, bold voices, and live events from the America First Warehouse. From national broadcasts and exclusive shows to comedy nights, concerts, and special events. It's all right at your fingertips. No filters, no spin, just America First. Download the America First Media and Television app today and be part of the movement.
If the vote count is accurate, then how come the number of voters is different? And if it's not accurate, then why was it certified? We are suing Letitia James and the New York State Board of Elections for a conspiracy against fundamental rights. This is not about who won. It's not about what party. It's about the fact that they don't care about your rights.
It's me, Joe the Box, and I'm John the Blanket with the America First Podcast.
That's what I'm talking about. The Fred Rubino Podcast coming to you from the America First Warehouse.
Welcome, everybody, to the James Justice Show, tearing these airwaves apart with all the craziness that goes on in the world.
Welcome to the Patriots Podcast. Good evening, everyone.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the On the Right Side podcast here at the America First Warehouse in Long Island, New York.
Shane Jenkins here with another episode of Liberty's Cage.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to our podcast, Red, Right, and True.
We are streaming live
on America First Media and Television app.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, Kevin Downey Jr. podcast. Be free, stay free.
The America First Warehouse, where our hearts will always be.
All right, guys, welcome back to the Real J6 Committee with my co-host David Summerall and Trent Evans. You know, we are the Real J6 Committee. God, I wish they would bring us in, tear it up, but I don't think they ever will. But it's okay. This is what I'm going to do right here, and I won't quit. And I know you guys won't quit. So real quick, I want to get into this because I know last show went by very fast, and I don't want to miss an opportunity. Yeah, go.
Gary,
what?
Before you do it, I had a prophecy I posted about within the last hour on my X account at Condemned USA. You might want to go check that out. Maybe you get your producers to find it for the next break.
Man.
Okay.
Now you're going to make me.
Y'all hear that?
Make me leave.
We're going to have. How long is it?
Look, I don't say that to be blasphemous when I say prophecy. I did not prophesize this. It is a legitimate prediction, but people are going to think I'm a lunatic for what I just said on X.
All right, well, Dan,
even
do you hear
crazier
that?
than David Summerall.
Dan's over here by my side. He's looking into it right now. Hey, guys upstairs, go ahead and play this next video real quick.
I was like, yo, where you guys at? Hold on.
So I played that. Let's play it one more time.
I was like, yo, where you guys at? Hold on.
All right, the reason I wanted to show that first is because what we're going to show after a while, here in a little bit, as soon as Albright says something to Fanone, he tells Albright, shh, grabs his body camera off and shuts it off. And that video you just saw was clipped right after they're talking about the magazines and the pistols and all that stuff. I mean, it's just right then and there. Now, when Fanone sits down, you hear him go, makes a little whatever, and you hear something in the background, which is Albright's we're going to get to in a minute. But I think it's important just for everybody to see as soon as Albright says something, that's when he tells him to shush and turns his body camera off. I will go to each of y'all about that video. My mind's racing with how they walk off, which will be another video, how they leave, how they even showed up, you know, after he had, 2 heart attacks or whatever you want to call it. I mean, it's bullshit. I mean, I'll say it. Trentus, I'll start with you, brother. Go ahead.
Look, man, we've all known there's so many lies of January 6th. We've flushed them out one way or another so many times. We're talking about indisputable proof, where the video shows one thing and an officer stated another. We covered that last time, some of those, what we were able to do in that Colorado ballot case with all the evidence we pulled together there. I mean, it was like a 3-page list of evidence that we provided as to the falsehoods relative to January 6th that we filed in that case. That's just one example of a compilation of these series of lies or individual lies, conspiratorial efforts maybe in some cases. It's unknown because no one's ever investigated it. If that were to have been investigated with the same fervor January 6th were investigated, I would imagine we'd already see a lot of people in prison. There'd be a lot of accountability. However, I'm not seeing that happening. We're all wondering and waiting. You know, it's like that song, right? I've been waiting for a girl like you, right? So one of those kind of things, right?
Yeah.
Except I'm just waiting for a truth. And I'm yet to see any significant truth or admission from the DOJ. However, based on that X post, I'm predicting in just days you're going to see something on January 6th from the Department of Justice. And it may change some people's minds. It may change some people's minds about what's happening over there and who's handling things and how they're being handled.
Yeah, and I'm
going to say this.
Go ahead.
I'd be the first person to step up and say, Todd Blanche, you're doing a fantastic job. God bless you. We were all wrong about you. If I saw the truth come out, people held accountable, and real action taking place. But I would like to mention, you fired people. They fired people for their actions on other matters, right? DOJ actions. And if they did that, right, what they did to school board parents, the weaponization stuff, some of these other actions, if they fired those people, then I got 300 people that were J6 prosecutors that you should be reviewing. Or at the very least, maybe they didn't have all the information. Maybe some of these people were in the dark. They were given some information, said, here's a discovery. They had no idea in the trove of stuff to where to go look.
Hell, they didn't have time. It was a needle in a haystack.
Jocelyn Ballantine, right?
Yeah.
Maybe that's it. Possible in some cases. But some of them had to know.
Yeah.
Some of them had to know the facts. Christopher Brown had to know the facts. Other people had to know the facts. I know DOJs, AUSAs that knew the facts that did not come clean with those facts. And those people should be held accountable, right? That has to happen. If there's got to be accountability as a deterrent, it has to happen. I'll leave it there.
All right. David, go ahead, brother.
Well, I'm kind of the video guy like you, man, and I say follow the evidence. If you just want to focus on Fanone, just follow his body cam and watch that it doesn't match up. You can show clips from this guy and that guy, and you can editorialize, and you can narrate, and you can make a big fable story, fairy tale, but it just ends up being about a fairy named Fanone. Because when you listen and you see he was never asleep for 4 minutes, he was asleep for no minutes.
No minutes.
At the most 22 seconds when he's drugged down the hall, things like that. He wasn't unconscious when he went back up. We carried him
And
back
remember,
up.
not to interrupt, but remember he tried to turn his body camera off in the side of the tunnel when he started being drugged off. Three times. Yep.
So, I mean, you follow this guy all the way through. He's walking down the hall right afterwards for 6 minutes. I know Trennis loves that fairy Fanone thing. But, at the end of it, he's out there at the medic, and the medic says, I can't see anything wrong with you. Sit here and drink some water, little boy, till you feel better and run along. Your eyes, your pupils are fine. No contusions, no blood in your mouth, no
That's
blood
right.
on your head, no kick, no bruise, no broken bone, nothing. Sounds like you're a wuss. Sit here and drink this water until you go back out. And saying that you're not allergic to CS gas doesn't make you a tough guy.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was really cute for me
Yeah.
for him to lie even to that medic about, oh, yeah, I got guys eating all kinds of gas or whatever. I think he will eat a lot worse in prison, and I think that's where he belongs because it's the reality of where we live. But I think just looking at the video, it speaks for itself, and America has been deprived of that. And I think Trennis is spot on. Something's going to give very soon. You can't have this big of an accumulation of guilt without something somewhere giving. And I don't know if it will make everyone happy like Trennis says, but I know that you have to address this at some point.
Yeah.
And there is too much evidence that we keep pushing. Trennis is pushing. Gary's pushing. And this show is so important. I wish people would watch it and share it and tell people what's going on. There's more video that America hasn't seen than they have. And now we're back to the same uniparty. We're never going to release all the video. We're never going to let the public see what
didn't
really
Michael
happened.
Johnson say he was going to release it all? And I know the
They've all
last
said.
show on my Rumble page was with you, David. And I remember there being a video that was released that's only like 14 or 17 seconds long. And I told you during that show, I said, I have the same video, and it's like 6 minutes long. And the reason they cut that out is because it's in a different hallway before they transported Ashley Babbitt out of the Capitol in a stretcher. They didn't want people to see that. And,
No,
and
they
it's
don't.
such bullshit.
And it tells a different story. We found out some of the guys that were standing in the hallway there, that we meet after the fact, after prison, after they bring their videos to us, and we put all these pieces of the puzzle together. That's the stuff that America didn't pay attention to. They were burned out by then, or they didn't understand, or they didn't know. And so many people still don't. Everywhere I go, people are still thinking it's something it wasn't. And that's what's going to scar America worse than anything, is if we don't learn from it and they repeat it on us. And I've said over and over, Tiananmen Square, that's a big deal. Well, we had one too. It's called J6. And if you study that and you become a historian about it and find out that it was police brutality and actions of feds and informants and everyone in the crowd, way more than the patriotic people that went to peacefully protest and were attacked by those police, it's a totally different story. And yet, I would say 80% of the public still doesn't have a very good understanding of what happened.
No, absolutely not. And here's what I want to do. We got 2 minutes, 35 seconds left. I'm going to play this next video. Now, it's really quick. It's repeated 3 times. I'll probably play it twice. We can start talking about it before we go to a commercial. But when we come back, I'll probably play it 1 or 2 more times just so everybody hears it. And then I want to get into the meat and potatoes of this show about what people might hear. Play it again.
In this article, it says
No. There you go. Play the last one. Okay, so the video we showed before that, as soon as, I don't know if you hear it, I know what I hear, we'll talk about it, but as soon as Albright says that, that's when Mike Fanone grabs his body camera footage and tells him shush, shush, and turns it off. Again, it's just, go ahead. David, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Trent.
Go ahead, Trent.
Look, the Metropolitan Police Department is the 9th most violent police department in the nation. That's independent studies bring us that information.
Yeah.
That means they beat their citizens. The citizens hate them. We talked about this before. This is a reality. We wrote this with Sean Witzman was involved with that. I started compiling a report and all these facts and evidence, and he helped me finish that report, the Weaponization of Justice document that we put out in 2022. What was that thing? 78 pages or something. We spiral bound them. Took these beautiful copies, put cover sheets on them, all this stuff, took them and delivered them all over Congress. What happened to that? Nobody seemed to care. Nobody wanted to hear it. I mean, they didn't even want to be exposed to it. It was like you were handing them, letters with acid on them or something. It was like they were like, oh no, I don't want one.
Yeah.
Don't tell me the truth. I don't want to be exposed to the truth. I like the narrative the way it is. It works out real well for me. These crimes that were committed against the American public, the lie. Listen, if you break the law, okay, it's fine. But like the police officer doesn't get to pistol whip you out on the side of the road because you were speeding and then call it justice. That's what happened with J6. They bludgeoned the American public with lies, with charges that didn't fit, i.e. Fisher being narrowed, et cetera, by the Supreme Court. The dreaming land or the land where these people dreamed up this ideology of how they could prosecute with the maximum, everything they could dream up. Like I said, I'm surprised they didn't add jaywalking. Yep. And if anyone spit on the Capitol grounds,
we'll be right back after this commercial, brother. Be right back.
Hey, Joe, the Box, the America First Warehouse, most patriotic venue in all the land.
The America First Warehouse, a beacon for all to see, a symbol of unity. For the patriots of America, we stand tall and free. In the America First Warehouse, where our hearts will always be.
The America First Ultra MAGA Store. For all your MAGA needs. We sell t-shirts, tumblers, flags, hats, sneakers, bumper stickers, and a whole lot more. The most patriotic America First retail store. The America First Ultra MAGA Store.
Get ready to move and celebrate freedom like never before. The America First Warehouse proudly presents Freedom in Motion, America 250. Join Lisa for an electrifying dance fitness fundraiser designed to get your heart pumping and your spirit soaring. This dynamic 6-week session is perfect for all fitness levels, whether you're just starting out or ready to level up your routine. Feel the energy of an epic patriotic playlist. Boost your fitness, learn exciting new moves, and relieve stress while having an absolute blast. All for just $100 per person, and it all supports a great cause. Spots are limited, so don't wait. Come dance, get fit, and celebrate America 250 in motion.
Corporate transfer. Fine professional, moving and storage, and inventory management.
America First Warehouse was really the most patriotic venue that you can ever imagine. We wanted to build something for people to be able to come to and feel so comfortable and so relaxed because there is nothing out there like it. We give an opportunity for people to really feel good about themselves and about this great country.
Guys,
is this a live show?
This is.
It is right now.
You said that twice now. Yes, it is a live show, Trennis.
You want to make an announcement or something? Let's do a little.
Let's hold on. Let's go ahead.
Yeah.
So, Adam, the repeated videos. Play that one more time, please.
So I just called Brennan.
All right, so here's what I hear. So I just called Brennan. So who is that Brennan? When I hear that, I've listened to it so many damn times. My first thought is John Brennan. And we know the relationship between John Brennan and Trump. Trump took his clearance away. And what made me want to bring this out even more is that after the pardons, all of a sudden we start seeing a lot of John Brennan coming back into media, it's just, and so for me, what I hear, that's my opinion, what I hear, I want to know if that's John Brennan and what he had to do with J6.
What is old John in charge of back in the day? What was
he? He was the CIA director.
Oh my goodness! Haven't you heard more and more about the CIA's involvement in J6 than you ever heard in the first 3 or 4 years?
And when you're pissed off at Trump and you're a former CIA director and you've got a grudge or whatever, that's exactly my thinking, and it's I'm not saying it's true, but it has to be investigated. It has to be looked into.
Well, this is the whole point. I think it comes full circle. If there were proper investigations by unpolitical, non-politicized or non-biased entities like the Stop Hate Investigative Team, McBride, all these people, there's different groups that would do these things just to get to the truth. And if you did video analysis or voice analysis, even better yet, what if you got these guys on the stand and said, tell me what you said. If you lie, you go to prison. Let's have it. And then hold them to that. But that never happened in the D.C. courts.
No, and hopefully this video does touch bases because my Ray Epps video made it to Congress, got over 80-something thousand views for a second breach. But, Trennis, you and I talked the other day.
There's another John Brennan, Gary.
And that's exactly what I was fixing to say. Go ahead.
Yeah, there's another John Brennan. And when you called me about that, I started looking into it. I'm going to read you guys this. This is an article. Make sure we that came out, and there was a quote, December of 22. And this was according to Sergeant John Brennan, MPD, Metropolitan Police Department. This is his quote. I don't know an officer that could go a week on the street and follow MPD's general orders entirely, Brennan told a jury. That was his statement to a jury. Now, that's interesting. Here's the policing rules. Here's what you got to follow. And he doesn't think you have to follow them, or he says that you can't follow. And he was testifying in the case of this gentleman named Terrence Sutton, a D.C. police officer charged with second-degree murder, conspiracy, obstruction of justice, in connection with the death of 20-year-old Karen Hilton Brown. Hilton Brown died in a moped crash in 2020. He collided with an oncoming vehicle while Sutton chased him in his unmarked police car. Sutton's supervisor, Lieutenant Andrew Zabavsky, has been charged with conspiracy and obstruction of justice for allegedly helping Sutton cover up the circumstances of the crash. Now, Brennan was involved in this matter. He was just testifying on behalf of defense counsel, which was the police in this case, because they're saying that this chase was unauthorized, unwarranted, et cetera, et cetera. Now, what's interesting to me is I always figured that I never expected that you go commit a crime, you try and run from the police, that they're going to chase you down and catch you. Sooner or later, get you there, get you at home somewhere. It'd be a manhunt. Yeah. You run from the police. I mean, that's what we watched our whole lives. Now with the defund the police movement, all this community safety procedures, basically, if you just run, they're not allowed to chase you, is apparently the way it goes. Geez, I wish that applied to J6. I know 1,600 people that would have gotten real fleet of feet real quick, So, at any rate, but just run and then we don't bother you. We'll leave you alone now, right? That's how it works.
No.
So anyway, but the John Brennan, if your DC officers there in the video right, with Fanone and his boyfriend were talking about their secret hunting trips together away from their wives or whatever it is, whatever they're doing.
Yeah.
If those guys were talking to about a Brennan, if that's what that is, I get it. I can hear that there. Maybe that's what's being said. If that's the case, maybe they're talking to that John Brennan. I don't know what John Brennan they're talking to, or even if that's who they're talking to, a John Brennan.
Yeah, me either.
But if
And
so,
in the
it
video,
makes sense.
yeah, and in the video with Fanone's body camera footage, you see Albright in the background. He's on the phone for quite a bit, so he was on a phone call. And so that's just my question: if that was what I hear of a Brennan, who is it? Which one is it? Why is he calling him? Because what I'm going to show you here in just a little bit just shows a small sample of what these articles came out with after the J6 Select Committee boosted these stories, which to me are complete lies. They just made it up, 100%. Real quick, play that last video of mine with the Time article.
In this article, it says after Fanone regained consciousness, he and his partner Jimmy Albright stumbled away from the Capitol to their patrol car, weaving like drunks from the chemical agents they've inhaled. At one point, Albright fell to his knees and vomited uncontrollably. They kept walking, arms around each other's shoulders.
Now that is not true.
Stuart.
That is not true. Hey,
you need to cut out. Go ahead and mute yourself too, there, Trennis, if you want to. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, it's interesting that there's a pattern. You see Bagshaw's reputation of violence in the neighborhood. Fanone's an undercover. He's done all kinds of bad things. You see Officer Dunn disfiring or discharging his firearm.
Ganell the same way. Ganell thinks he's a foreign hero.
Idiots, man, and they're protected. It's not that they can't do it without crime. They don't have to do it without crime because they're covered. These courts, their management, their uppers, the guys that cover.
What was Bagshaw given with Victoria White?
Nothing.
Immunity.
Slap on the hand even? No, nothing. I mean,
Nothing.
they had Bagshaw at the last January 6th around everyone that went back to commemorate Ashley and Roseanne and Benjamin and it's just one of those unbelievable Go ahead, Trent.
No accountability. We want accountability, and Trennis might have something for us.
All right, here you go, Gary. You're breaking it on Gary McBride's show here.
Breaking news.
Robert Menudez case has been dismissed. I just spoke to the council, and that case has been dismissed. That means he doesn't need a pardon because his case on appeal has been dismissed. He has no charges. Case over, game, set, match. Now, I can't confirm if this has happened for the other Oath Keepers, Proud Boys, etc. I did speak to Dominic Pizzola's counsel, and that short time I got in touch with two attorneys on these cases. So Menudez's been dismissed. I don't know about Pizzola. Search the news cycle, guys. Take a look. Sorry for looking away and not paying attention, but we were getting that information live.
We knew what you were doing.
Great.
We knew what you were doing. What do you guys think? Is it going to follow suit for everybody else?
Well, here's the thing. We got 12 more people. And, every one of those guys that we can take off the list. And Trennis,
I'm
before you came in,
now.
we were talking about Benjamin Martin. We still have
Chance Upmore.
Ed, everybody that's still looking at charges, future or current. So, and if we have any switch in the government, of course, they're going to try to put every J6er back in prison. We live with this. It's very real, and it's coming to a neighborhood near everyone else. We don't get ahead of it.
Wow.
Well, I tell you what, I think we should all blow them kisses for doing the right thing, right? Or whatever it is, give big hugs or whatever the movement du jour is, right? Hug your whatever today.
Man, I don't even know how to finish this show out, Trennis. I don't know how to finish this show out. I want to, like you said, where we can go find this breaking news, where share it, tell us that.
I'll post something here in just a little bit, Gary. You can share it out. You'll have it.
On Condemned USA?
Yeah, I'll at Condemned USA. I'll post it. I'll get it. I just got it. I'm just told them they're going to email me the notices, the dismissals.
Man, that's exciting.
Yeah, it's happening. It just happened. I mean, literally, while we were on the show.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, if we can get these people's military benefits
that'll be restored because it's dismissed.
Okay.
So
then they can vote
hopefully
again.
This impacts Zach Reel, Stuart Rhodes, Kelly Meggs, et cetera, et cetera. There's a lot of people still out there still suffering on this thing, and they deserve pardons. And if they didn't pardon them, great. Then let the case get dismissed in the appellate process, and let's be done with it, right?
And Edward
now
Kelly's
let's move
still in
on to
prison?
accountability and Federal Tort Claims Act. Big topic right now. Mark McCloskey has left the J6 litigation. He's spent a lot of resources and a lot of time. Look, I applaud Mark for all of his efforts and all he's done. Peter Tickton is kind of last man standing on that deal. And, so you have Peter Tickton, Roger Lutz, M. Lambert, John Mosley, myself. That's the existing claim running the Federal Tort Claims Act matters. Here's another attorney right now on
If
these.
nobody knows who those men are, they're great
We'll come
men.
back. Maybe we got more news.
Sounds
Yeah,
good, brother.
he may have more news.
That's
He just
exciting.
walked away. We got a minute and a half. Hurry up, Trennis.
Well, and this is the thing. Look, 12 more people. We still have Edward Kelly in prison. We still have Dylan Harrington in prison. We still have Benjamin Martin that could go back there. Are still people at risk. We need to double down, use this momentum,
Yeah.
push, and make sure that we celebrate, like he said, hugs to all these people that allowed this to happen or helped make it happen. Let's really tell them, hey, thank you for doing that. But please, we're this close to having the job done. Can we finish for everyone and compliment them on the back while you ask them to finish on the other? So I think that's the way we're going.
Yeah, no, I agree. This is, what huge news. Trennis, if you can hear me, what you got? More? You got more?
You got 30 seconds.
No, I didn't get more
All right.
news. I just got the same call. It was another attorney called. George Fallis called and said, "Hey, so we were talking. I just said, hey,
No, you know what? I enjoyed that
with
this
attorneys
happened.
right now. So around the country. So we'll get more on this, Gary. Nick, we need to cover this next week. Get these guys on and
Okay, so we'll
get them on, and
let's-
talk to them, and like this battle getting left behind for all this time. What was it? 13 months? No, 15 months.
Yeah.
These guys been behind 15 months.
Listen, we've got
And
about
they-
10 seconds left. Trennis, David, we're going to
Gary's
talk
my
later.
hero.
And
Jeremy Bride's my hero.
We love Gary.
whatever.
We love Gary.
I love you guys. We'll see you next time, and we're going to talk after this show about another show quick. See ya.
See ya.